Welcome back, everyone, to the SLTV StarSeries Hearthstone Season 1 LAN Finals with me, Aqua Blood, back from his break. Stansivka has gone back on the player's bench.
Yeah, had some food, you know, got to recharge. Didn't get to see much of that game, but it looked like Dog dominated 3-0.
Yeah.
You watched that game, so...
It was a crushing victory, really. Like, he just went in, and I mean, he was in for blood, and he got it. The RNG went well. I think he played well. Cypher didn't even misplay, really. It's mostly just everything for Dog lined up almost perfectly, and he just got, I want to say, like, an easy, free blowout over Cypher.
And that's Dog's second 3-0 of this event so far.
That's
so
right.
kind of Dog's had some really consistent performances so far. But up next, we have Kolento versus... Orange.
That's
Yeah,
right.
There we go. Had to look at the sheet there. So yeah, so if Orange actually wins this game, he goes through to tomorrow.
Orange is already up to win, so all he has to do is get another win, and he's guaranteed to move on. So that's the really important win for him. He's going to let him play his last match, you know, however he wants. Maybe play the last match for the points. He's pretty much like the most, probably like the happiest guy to go there, because he didn't think he'd be able to maybe prepare enough, given that he's been the last one to get the memo as far as coming here. He is replacing Oskaka, who canceled last minute. But if he goes through, he's going to be the first player to guarantee to qualify.
And that's really good for him as well. Like you said, not even preparing for this event and then just coming into the event, like doing his thing, getting results. And he said in previous interviews that he really wants to get back on top, back in the scene. This is the table as it stands right now. Dog and Ties sitting at the top. Stansivka, Orange.
Oh, that's right. Ties is already qualified for the for tomorrow. That's right. Dog is currently 2-2. Stansivka is 2-2. So whoever's at 2 wins right now has to get an extra win. Orange has the advantage as well of having 2 more matches to play, which means even if he loses this one, he's got another one.
Yeah,
right?
so he's got another chance. So Orange is looking really good right now. Kolento, on the other hand, he needs to win this game and the next game.
Right. That's a bit tough. Kolento right now, he had a really rough start in the event. He needs to win against Orange right now and the next one to keep going. Before we move on to the match, though, to see whether or not he's able to get that first out of 2 wins, we'll hear both players give us a little bit of thoughts about what they think about the event so far.
Я с самого начала понял, как только игру увидел, что эта игра меня заинтересует, и я буду в ней играть много. Игры Blizzard я люблю. Ну да, сразу понял, что эта игра меня заинтересует. Я картами тоже увлекался. Никогда у меня не было коллекционных карточных игр. Я просто о них не слышал. Обычные карты играл. Пытался с братом играть, но он очень часто проигрывал, поэтому играть не хотел. Люди часто не понимают базовых вещей. Не знаю, зачем нужно это рассказывать. Но если рассказать один раз, если человек хочет слышать, он услышит и, скорее всего, запомнит. Честно говоря, час или 2 провести с человеком и рассказать ему то, что он хочет знать, то, чего он еще не понимает. Если он уже знаком с игрой, достаточно, чтобы повысить уровень игры намного. Если, конечно, человек хочет играть лучше. Есть некоторые колоды, которыми очень легко взять легенду. Например, я думаю, что Друид легкий класс для игры, но, как практика показывает, не очень, потому что люди не очень сильно, которые не умеют играть, берут легенду с ним. Например, Паладин с секретами. Очень легкий класс для игры. Если человек просто играет эту колоду, может без труда на среднем уровне взять легенду, и тогда, ну, в турнире, ну, сыграет он Паладина. Он его сыграет не оптимально, ну, на среднем уровне. И потом еще 2 колоды остается, которые он играть не может. Поэтому, да, скорее всего, если человек может взять легенду, он сможет и на турнире себя показать хорошо. Но опять-таки на самом высоком уровне играть не так уж и просто. Очень немногие могут это сделать. Логику тренировать надо. В чем отличие между игроком самого высокого уровня от не самого высокого? Это в основном логика. Легко сказать, например, мой противник, скорее всего, сыграл бы эту карту в этой ситуации, потом у нее, скорее всего, не будет, я не буду такое играть. Легко сказать. Игрок на высоком уровне может этого добиться, что на самом высоком уровне недостаточно. Все еще нужно понимать, почему в этот момент, когда есть действительно опция, которая неявна, почему один ход лучше, чем другой, замечать вещи, которые трудно заметить, например, зачистку стола, когда играешь престом священником с безумным пиромантом. Иногда очень сложно найти такие моменты. Замечать нужно многое. Опять-таки, в начале игры как Маллиген сделать. Многие спорные моменты есть. И практика помогает тут в основном. В общем, один совет для тех, кто хочет повысить свой уровень максимально. Просто смотрите стримы игроков, которые играют на самом высоком уровне, вы знаете это. Когда они делают что-то непонятное, пытайтесь найти ответ. Просто спрашивайте себя, если вы играете хорошо, если вы уже легенда, то ответ должен появиться. И если человек допускает ошибку на стриме, например, хороший игрок, он обязательно потом ее должен заметить и сказать, что это была ошибка.
All right, so Kolento, you know, just giving us some insight as to what he thinks makes a great player. It's interesting, right, the way he says that, you know, getting Legend is kind of the first step to really achieving high-level play. It's not really, you know, an end goal in and of itself. You should strive to get way beyond that in order to compete.
Well, the thing with the Legend rank as well, you can hit Legend, but there is ranks of Legend, and the top 100 Legend players of seasons generally stand out more than anyone else who's hit Legend. So hitting Legend is great, getting that card back, getting that sense of achievement, but if you want to push yourself a little bit further, you know, go for top 100, see what happens.
I mean, it's kind of weird to say that, but Hearthstone is incredibly complex, not necessarily in the mechanics you're offered, but rather the depth of the decisions that you have to take. And when you've got, you know, such a wide array of decks, and what's cool is now we have a fairly big variety of decks that you have to master to play at high level. You can't just go in a tournament with one deck, assume that you're going to be able to just power through with that one deck. It's not going to happen, especially in Conquest. So you have to diversify your toolkit, and I think, you know, just getting Legend with a single deck is not enough.
A really good point Kolento made then is watching other players play, especially professional players who stream. You can learn a lot from players, and watching events like this and just trying to figure out in your own head as plays are being made, why is he making this play? And that can take you to the next level, because when you start to understand how pros do it, you'll understand how to do it yourself. So good advice from Kolento. Lots of words of wisdom from
Basically,
him.
watch Kolento. Don't watch me if you're looking for competitive advice. Now, that being said, Orange is going to be giving us a little bit more insight again about many things that we're asking him in the interview. We'll be right back.
And not necessarily. There are actually a lot of differences, a lot more than people realize when it comes to tournaments and ladder. On ladder, you can, for example, only be good with one deck and be very successful. And you can also, you're sitting in your own, like in front of your own computer, in your comfort zone. When you're coming to a tournament, especially an offline tournament like this, not only do you have to bring multiple decks and be like very flexible as a player, but you also have to be able to take the pressure of knowing that there are thousands and thousands of people watching you at any given moment. So, for example, I know several great ladder players that just can't perform in tournaments because of anxiety and stuff like that when they play on the big screen. My biggest advice to players that want to take the game to the next level that I see a lot of people do is that when they go on a losing streak, a lot of players try to blame RNG. And it's very easy to do in such a game that actually just, like, the word random is on a lot of cards these days. And it's very easy to just be like, yeah, I lost, it was because of RNG. But my advice to you is to look back on the games you actually played, analyze them, and I promise you that almost all the time there is something you could have done differently to prevent that from happening in the first place. So just like, instead of being mad and telling yourself that you're unlucky, go back and analyze and see what you could have done differently.
This was definitely one of the most. I think I like this this question the most. You know, what do you think is required to play at a high level? The insight from both these players I found kind of interesting, and we're gonna get more from other guys. You know, Orange says, "Don't blame RNG for your mistakes." It's, I mean, sure there is a component to RNG, and of course it will hit you in the face once in a while, but you will also deal it to other people. So ultimately, what you're looking for is how to make the best of what's dealt your way.
It's all about consistency. You want to be as consistent as possible, and the way you become consistent is making good decisions and making solid and the correct decision most of the time. And one thing that can really tilt players is RNG, but you have to accept it's in the game, it's going to happen, you're going to lose to it. And once you can kind of not get upset by that anymore and you just accept it, it's much easier to push forward as a player, because that doesn't become a big part of you know, like a wall in your growth as a player. It doesn't always hit you like, oh, that happened to me. You know.
It's variance. There's nothing else. That's all. I got killed by boombots. I mean, I think ultimately the only, I mean, RNG. The thing is the stakes aren't the same. You know, a boombot for a $200,000 game is worth a lot more than a Boombot on ladder, right? So the value of that Boombot, if it hits you in the face really negatively and it makes you lose the game, it feels a lot worse. But ultimately, you have to just play the odds, right? You just forget about what's on the line if you can, and you just play the card game the best you can, and that's the way you're going to make the optimal plays. It's going to become second nature to play around the RNG optimally. You know, I remember when Dr. Boom came out, people butchered the Boombot trading turns.
Yeah, Dr. Boom did create a huge impact in the game, and it's still in play now. It's just a staple 7 drop. It still hasn't left, and you know, the RNG is just part of the game, and these players know it is, they accept it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, hooray, you know, good for them.
Yeah, at least he realizes it. Kolento said yesterday the only reason he lost was RNG. So, these guys have Mage and Hunter. Paladin for Kolento as a 3rd class, and Orange Druid both banned the Warrior. I think that is very telling. No one wants to face off against Patron.
You don't want to face off against Kolento's Patron, right?
No, oh my god.
That's super deadly. And Ty's Patron as well. No.
I don't think so. I'll pass on that. I mean, I know that Orange plays a really good Control Warrior game. We don't know if he's playing Patron. I don't think we've seen him play it just yet. I don't think he's played versus Cypher. I think it's going to be his, versus Stan Sivka. It's going to be his next match. There's a chance that that Warrior is revealed and it is Control.
Yeah, because Stan Sivka bans the Hunter, as he's done every game so far. Looking into this, is Paladin versus Hunter. Hybrid Hunter coming from Orange there, faster Hunter with the Leper Gnomes and such. Stranglethorn Tiger as well. Kolento running that secret Paladin. Was he running the more aggressive one on the more mid-range? Because we kind of got a nice mix in the tournament.
Yeah, Kolento's got something that's actually, I wouldn't say all over the place, but it's curving down while having some at the top end, of course. You know, no longer do you see really that many all-in aggression decks. I think he plays Argent Squires.
Argent Squire's pretty good, you know, it helps in the Paladin Mirror for sure, and it can help clear up some of these pesky Hunter cards like Web Spinners, Leper Gnomes, tokens from the Haunted Creeper. And we've seen Tice use Argent Squire in his zoo, so again, he was targeting those decks with that card.
Oh man, Kolento's got the Secret Keeper coin, Noble Sacrifice. That is an amazing start. Actually, Kolento's hand is absolutely insane here.
Yeah, so good. So much early aggression and pressure. The Secret Keeper will act as like a mini Undertaker almost with these secrets, build up to something nice, almost to Yeti status very quickly if he draws more secrets. Yeah,
we'll have to see though if he opts to play it, because there's a good argument to be made for not doing so. I mean, we can always go for a Haunted Keeper first, and then you go, you know, turn 2, Secret Keeper, coin, Noble Sacrifice, Redemption into Knife Juggler, or alternatively, Juggler onto Sacrifice the Creeper into a Mad Scientist, get some free knives, and go forward from there. I mean, the problem with Secret Keeper Noble Sacrifice is maybe that Noble Sacrifice at this stage doesn't really accomplish as much as you'd like.
It'd be different if Orange had a 1-drop, right? If he had Leper Gnome or something down, it might actually work because you just protect yourself from that Leper Gnome. But like you said, Haunted Creeper might be a little bit better here because the Knife Juggler interaction is really good.
What about Secret Keeper coin Redemption? Plays around the quick shot.
And Mind Games, not too bad.
And you redeem the Secret Keeper, and then you get Noble Sacrifice out.
Let's see what he does here, actually. He does go for the Secret Keeper. Any coin going to come down here? Just passes, keeps hold of that coin.
Liking it. I mean, it's basically saying you don't need to quick shot this. It's not very relevant because I don't have a secret. Otherwise, I would have played it. At least it's trying to send that message, right? And Orange, you know, might not be inclined to quick shot this, in which case Kolento then gets a much better turn as a follow-up. I like that. I think it's a clever move.
So Mad Scientist seems kind of the obvious play here, you know, challenges this 1-2, but Orange knows that maybe this Secret Keeper has got more coming, you know, secrets to buff it, and then that can trade into the Mad Scientist. He might want to still quick shot it if he feels it's a threat. Quite a few decisions need to be made here.
Yeah, the Haunted Creeper I like a lot here because you saw the Paladin keep the coin. It indicates that maybe he wants to play a 3-drop on 2, and what 3-drop does he have? He's got the Muster for Battle. You're looking to avoid giving him all the value in the world, and I think Haunted Creeper is a good way to contest the Muster early on, if you're looking to do that. And if you've got traps that can handle those, then you can definitely just play, as you said, you know, the Mad Scientist. I think Orange is playing Snake Traps.
Oh yeah, for sure. That will definitely help as well, challenging a Muster for Battle. Kolento hasn't actually found that Muster for Battle just yet. But now he can play a secret, he can trade into the Mad Scientist if he wants, he could develop the Haunted Creeper then as well if he decides to use his coin, and then he has a Knife Juggler which can interact with the Haunted Creeper being popped, so he has a lot of kind of directions he can take, or hold on to the coin Blessing of Kings could come down if he finds a stickier minion. So a lot of different ways he can go.
Yeah, I mean, the Haunted Keeper with Redemption could be played. I mean, it would at worst bring back the Secret Keeper, and then you can go Noble Sack with the Juggler on 3, which is perfectly fine. He's going to get a free juggle here from the Noble Sacrifice while making also the Mad Scientist, you know, putting it away and forcing the trap to be sent.
Alright, so trap comes down for orange. What is it, I wonder? Snakes? Freezing? We'll have to see.
Yeah, either way, I think Kolento is more than happy with whatever ends up getting returned. Here, orange's bow is not going to kill anything. It's going to deal 2 damage to him, and get, you know, there's a knife coming in, so 3 damage total, and Kolento can just keep on putting the pressure. The worst case scenario is, of course, Explosive Trap, but we've seen enough of the decks so far that he probably has scouted to know what that trap is. I don't think he's going to be worried about that just yet.
So we could bounce back the Secret Keeper if he wants now, and then he has a healthy Secret Keeper going forward with the Redemption.
I like it. I mean, the Secret Keeper is pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good body. And now it's at the 2-1. It's lost a lot of value because it gets killed very easily by Hounds and Haunted Creepers and stuff. He can bounce it back. He gets that 2 health back and he can start buffing it again. If it's not Freezing Trap and it's Snake Trap, he can kind of go on the offensive then, and he can kind of put some pressure on orange and say, look, you need to be able to deal with my board somehow.
Yeah, the big weakness, I guess, of bouncing it back, I mean, that extra charge on the bow looks like very little, but in a position like Kolento's where every single minion you have is very valuable, you know, he hasn't found any cheat cards, you know, something like a Shredder. He hasn't found a Mysterious Challenger yet, so he can't really cheat his way into, you know, a really amazing board. Whereas Orange, you know, he's got the bow, and if he gets an extra charge, that's another minion he can kill. Kolento with a Redemption Creeper is probably going to be able to extract maximum value.
Alright, it is Freezing Trap.
Oh man, we're going to see 2 jugglers if he's going for it. I don't think so, but he might.
I like this. The Redemption protects his juggler because obviously the Eaglehorn bow looks really nice. Just take out the juggler, the Redemption will bring him back, and then you have to find something else to be able to deal with the new resurrected juggler.
Yeah, I think overall the orange, you know, the owl really makes this a lot nicer. I mean, funny enough though, he wants to owl the creeper, you know, just to deny the ability for him to get a good redemption. But if you do that, then something like Blessing of Kings that falls on 4, and that's very likely to be what Kolento's holding since he's been playing a bit slowly. They're going to be later curve cards. You know, that's a really risky play. So you have to wait for the buff, quick shot the juggler, just minimize the impact of the card. And Kolento with a 3-mana Secret Keeper that you know he's got, he's not going to go anywhere with that, I don't think.
Although Kolento has the initiative here, Orange does have a weapon. They've got the exact same board, but Orange has the bonus of a weapon here. So I think Orange feels pretty happy. You know, I've got an equal board, but I do have another resource to take out another minion he drops. If he drops anything small like a Knife Juggler without any buffs, he can still take the initiative, drop, say, an Animal Companion with something else. So I think Orange looks pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why Hunter, some people say, you know, Hunter is not that great against Paladin, but I think overall, it would be really hard for a Hunter with a properly tuned deck to have a terrible matchup against Secret Paladin. I think they've got the tools. When you're packing 2 Ironbeak Owls in your deck, you can definitely deal with some of the Blessing of Kings shenanigans they pull off. You've got Unleash for the muster spam. You can just kill some of the 6/6s, you know, Mysterious Challenger with something like Hunter's Mark. You can even play Flare in your deck. I think we saw that from Orange yesterday. He might even have it, you know, as a
Tice
draw
definitely has a Flare, which I was surprised about.
Right.
Yeah. Blessing the King's going to come down, going to be able to punch 5 to the face, but that Owl's going to line up beautifully, and an Animal Companion if he wants a double high main. Wow. Wow.
Orange.
Wow.
That's a lot of pressure coming from him.
And now he can take care of the Haunted Creeper. No little minions are going to be spawned. So he doesn't have a Blessing of Kings target again to challenge this Misha. He's going to have to deal with this with a true Silver Champion or just develop his board, and then Orange has the initiative and he can start responding.
Yeah, really difficult for Kolento if he doesn't find Mysterious Challenger off the top. You know, it's not over yet. He's still a very high health total, and there's always a way for him to deny the board if he finds a Mysterious Challenger into something like a Consecration. But overall, right now, Orange is looking unshakable from this board.
And he has a lot of beasts as well, which is great, which will synergize with kill commands when he finds them.
And Bestial Wrath and Stable Master, right? Like all the good
all those awesome mid-range Hunter cards, right?
Oh, God.
So high main after high main, back-to-back high main can come down for Orange if he pleases. And how does a Paladin deal with high main efficiently without equality?
I mean, although Peacekeeper is kind of one of the things. Oh, that's a good juggle, though, for Kolento.
Oh, the crowd seems to like that juggle, hitting the right target there.
Yeah, but basically, you know, people say Mysterious Challenger is a crazy 6-drop, is the best in the game, but I remember the days where everybody was complaining about Savannah High Main into High Main or Savannah High Main into Dr. Boom. It feels a little similar in as far as power goes, except now the High Main is a bit less impactful because the decks tend to have something on the board by then.
Yeah, High Main almost has the power of a legendary, I would have always thought.
Yeah.
When I first started, I played a lot of Hunter, and I still do play a lot of Hunter. When I first started playing, I was thinking, this High Main card, this should be a legendary. This is awesome. Like,
yeah, you got Kieran Bloodhoof on one end, and then you got Savannah High Main.
Yeah,
and you ask
exactly.
yourself, how's that make any sense?
But no, he's just a rare. Just a rare.
But I mean, ultimately, if it weren't a rare, like if it was a legendary, maybe it would just be, it would make mid-range Hunter a lot worse because they wouldn't be necessarily able to have consistent 6-drop that's as valuable as they need it to be.
So now, Kolento had to play the Blessing Kings on the Haunted Creeper just to challenge the High Main, just to make Orange go, you know, I need to trade into this. I'm on 14 health. He might have a lot of damage, but with one card in hand, no sign of Mysterious Challenger, no sign of Divine Spirit, Divine Favor so far. This might be an opportunity for Orange to take initiative if he wants him to go on the aggressive.
It's hard not to, right? It's kind of a self-evident, you know, High Main. If you couldn't deal with the first one, what's it going to do about the second one, right? All right, get that Dr. Boomer, Mysterious Challenger, or you're... Ooh, all right. That's 2 card draws, right?
That's 2, yeah. Divine Favor, I was just talking about, he didn't have that before, but now he can start digging for something. But what can you play at 3 mana that deals with a High Main?
That's not it, but he does have a follow-up Challenger. All right, step 1, get the Challenger. Step 2, play it. See what it does.
Step 3, just sit back and watch the magic happen.
Watch the fireworks. Enjoy the show. So he did get a redemption, right? So this 1/1 will come back to life. Not that it's worth much, but hey, it's something.
Yeah, it's something that can get hit by Avenge if he wants to spread out the power of his board.
Yeah. Having 2 minions for the Mysterious Challenger,
it's usually pretty good.
Having 3 is even better. So this hero power he can weave in with the Mysterious Challenger is going to be very good.
Will Mysterious Challenger be enough here, though? I mean, this is a lot of power from Orange. Not only that, kill command in hand and unleash the hands. A lot of burst from hand if he needs it.
Yeah, Kolento's got also the issue of having just drawn a Repentance when he was about to play the Challenger, which makes the card a little less impactful than he wants it to be, and it also diminishes you know, the value, the power of the play that he's making. So I mean, here he can kill a 2/1, he can kill a 1/1. He can use, actually the redemption from the 1/1 here allows him to clear off the Hyena, which is pretty, it's okay. You know, it'll tank one of the minions that otherwise would be able to trigger Noble Sacrifice.
So what's he thinking about here? I guess he's thinking about the trade-in, what he wants to trade. Or he's probably thinking about how much damage Orange can realistically do to him next turn.
The question is, do I go face? Like, if I attack with a weapon to face and kill the Hyena with the 1/1, can I win by being aggressive? Because, like, if he plays the long game so far, it looks like it's not going to work, right? I think right now he's calculating the chances of winning by playing defensively. They seem low to me when he's getting such a small board. So being very aggressive to me looks like maybe his best chance.
Alright, Orange should have everything he needs to almost finish out this game. A quick shot, oh, for sure now.
Yeah, now he's got it for sure. That quick shot is going to be the nail in the coffin for Kolento.
One of the things I've always loved about Hunter is the classes. They can have a very strong board presence and fight for board very efficiently, but out of nowhere they can just burst you down. I like the flexibility of playing for board and playing aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I hate about them. Because whenever they show up with that, I'm like, really? You're not only able to curve perfectly, better than Druid, but you can also kill me with burst. It always feels really bad, man.
I love it. I'm a big fan.
Typically, you're the reason I don't play ladder anymore, right?
I'm sorry, man. Well,
it's
anyway,
okay.
Orange takes it with the Hunter. Team Hunter takes another victory. And Orange, this means a lot to Orange. Like you said, he really wants to qualify for tomorrow. And he really wants to start his journey, become one of the top players again. And he's a little bit closer now. Kolento has some work to do.
Again, Kolento, this is basically the tournament match for him. I mean, the tournament match. If he loses to Orange here, there's no way he goes through. Orange, on the other hand, what he's got, if he loses this and wins the next one, he's still going through. The amount of pressure on both players is not equal. Kolento's got a lot more to lose if he loses this match.
So Orange has everything to win and Kolento has everything to lose.
Pretty much. I mean, Orange is, even if he loses this, it's a bit of a downer. You're not guaranteed to go through, but you've got another chance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he beat Ties as well. in the opening match of yesterday, which was a big win for him. His next game would be against Stansifka, who's a very formidable opponent, who's been performing very well. So I think Orange has the confidence he needs really to go forward. But Kolento, you know, he had a rough day yesterday. He did get a win at the end against Stansifka, which was one of the stronger opponents, which was really good for him. But this game is just so important. It's unreal.
So Kolento did get the Leper Gnome. Very important to have a good curve when you're playing a Hunter. I mean, it's important in every deck, but not every deck relies on the early game control as much maybe as a Hunter does. And what's interesting here is that, assuming Orange even had something like a 2-drop to play here, it can be played, right? The Leper Gnome makes you not want to, but you have to.
Yeah, you just have to throw that out, land to the slaughter. Kolento might even ignore it and go face. He has a Glaive Zuka, so he can just clear up the Glaive Zuka. And they can give him an Owl as well off the Mirror Entity if he needs to.
I like that a lot. You know, Glaive Zuka, you know, you summon a Mirror Entity, then the Mage spends his turn 3 maybe pinging your Leper Gnome, which is something that he might do, and then you're able to just keep going.
Oh, he just doesn't want to give him any Mirror Entities. That's fine as well. Oh, speaking of Mirror Entities.
Ah, speaking of the devil, there he is. Now, Spellslinger will probably get Arcane Missiles based on what I know from this game. Not quite, but that's still a good card. Flame Cannon for Kolento deals with this Spellslinger.
Wow, that is just perfect.
Oh
absolutely
my
perfect.
god, that is crazy. Flame Cannon coin Glaive Zuka into a Shredder turn 4. Kolento just picked up an amazing spell.
That you couldn't ask for anything else, could you? It just deals with the board. You get to keep the initiative as well, with Leper Gnome being able to push more damage. He hasn't even had his death rattle yet. Get the Glaive Zuka down if he wants as well. And the pressure is on Orange then, because that Hunter starts building up his aggression. This is face Hunter after all, with a Shredder.
I mean, it's a bit of a, it's a very fast Hunter. It's not your pure face with Arcane Golems and Wolf Riders, but it's definitely on the hyper-aggressive side. What Kolento has here in this Flame Cannon is a guarantee that Orange will eventually probably have to slow down. Oh my god, Kolento relentlessly just pushing for damage.
Another thing to consider with Flame Cannon as well, it hits Flame Waker, which is a
really good
higher value target.
Very good point. However, now Orange gets a Flame Waker Arcane Blaster, and that I think he'll be more than happy to take.
What do you Arcane Blast?
I might trade into the Shredder first and then Flame Waker Arcane Blast, whatever comes out of it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds like an okay play, but then again, there's probably a consideration for playing Shredder and trading your 3-4 into the Leper Gnome, slowing down a little bit, maybe playing for value still. Oh wow. Oh, Kolento with the cards again.
That's a good card to get, especially as a Hunter.
Especially with Glaive Zuka and Flame Cannon on curve, that's a full board clear. You keep your Creeper and you keep going forward.
Very nice for Kolento there.
Alright.
And that does, there we go, the Flame Cannon does line up nicely with this. It's a higher value target. If he'd used it before, he may have not been able to deal with the Flame Walker.
Yeah, this is exactly what Kolento was talking about in the interview. He was saying, you know, playing at a high level, what's important is noticing the small things that not everybody does. And, you know, intuitively, you would have played the Flame Cannon here to kill the 3-4 and maybe just coined out Glaive Zuka to go face. I would have done it, maybe. I think probably, in fact. And
I probably would have.
Yeah, see, so overall, I think Kolento here displays very good knowledge of the matchup.
What's he hovering over there? Kill command face. So taking advantage of this beast while he has it.
Kolento knows what's up. Now, Orange does have a Frostbolt to slow down the Eaglehorn bow that Kolento might be developing, but look at the damage that Orange has taken so far. We're talking about 11 health left, and the Hunter is at 26. You have no fireballs. You've got to play this a little cautiously, which means you have to trade, and the Hunter's more than happy with that.
Yeah, you keep trading, he keeps pressing hero power. Like, you're getting closer and closer to dying, and you just constantly train with him because you know if you leave anything on the board, he's just going to kill you faster. And this is where the Face Hunter wants to be. He wants to be in a situation where you have to trade.
Alright, so Kolento will be getting himself an Unleash the Hounds. Probably the best he'll ever get in a situation like this, I think. Now the question is, what do you do afterwards? Do you hero power for damage? Do you play the bow? I'm assuming the bow is on his mind for sure. Or do you just kill command while you still have beast?
So if you kill command 5-8, I think kill command's fine. I mean, you don't know he has the Frostbolt, so...
I mean, bow hero power is 5 damage. You're putting him down to 6. And then Unleash the Hounds, kill command wins. And then you still get the 5 damage from the...
That's probably a better order to do it, actually, because then you're holding back some of your burst. You showed the bow, which is fine, and then Orange will probably respond with the Frostbolt, but it won't matter then because you'll have what you need to finish the game.
Yeah.
But he's actually just going to go for the Hound's Bow, so he's going to do it this way.
I mean, he's still bringing his opponent down to 5, which means kill command without any combo play still kills his opponent with hero power on the following turn. I mean, I think every single line, Heroes was basically looking for a way to lose rather than a way to win. Vitality Totem, still a saving grace for Orange, as ridiculous as it sounds.
Vitality Totem, I guess you have to go for it, right? You can Frostbolt face, you stop the bow. But there's, like I said, there's not much else you can do rather than fish for something nice in the shredder.
Yeah, quick shot kills you, another unleash kills you, kill command kills you. I think at this point, if you're Orange, you think you're dead most of the time if you don't wipe this board completely clean and find a way to heal yourself through the shredder. Then again, one of the drawbacks of getting Vitality, I mean, going for the Hail Mary Vitality Totem is there's a good chance that even if you get it, you're going to die over multiple turns.
Yeah, that hero power is still going to keep going off. No anti-heal bots or any real source of healing outside of Spell Slinger, Healing Wave, or Healing Touch.
Oh my god, that would be insane.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, no reliable healing source. It looks like Orange is just going to go for the aggressive play here and say, do you have it? Can you finish me? If you can, oh well. If you don't, I'm just going to go and try and finish the game myself.
Orange's play is actually probably the correct play. You know, going for the Hail Mary is less likely to work than the Hunter not having damage. It makes a lot more sense. Now, Kolento might be wondering, you know, this mirror entity that he played, maybe he got an eye, like, maybe, was it created by Spellslinger? I mean, he did see the spell earlier. It would have been hilarious though, right? It would have been so hilarious for a nice block to show up here.
Kolento took some time then to actually finish off Orange. Maybe playing some mind games with him, just thinking, let's see, let's make him believe he has a chance. No, he didn't.
Kolento metagaming the metagame, playing with his opponent's brain. I like Kolento as a player. I think he knows what it takes to be a good player. You can see it in the way that he talks about high-level play. I
know, Purple really surprised me at the NA Champs. He had a lot of BM in.
Oh yeah, no, Purple's pretty BM. I mean, he's very emotional as a player. You can see him, you know, when something happens RNG-wise, he's the exact opposite of Ostkaka or someone like Kolento, who just keeps the poker face on for all the matches they play.
But the emotes in this game, especially when there's high stakes, I think they should be utilized more, especially if you think your opponent's emotional. No, but if you're playing to win, you should use every tool you have to beat your opponent. If you know your opponent's going to get wound up by you spamming some emotes or just mocking him if he gets bad RNG, that
is ridiculous.
It flusters them. They might make a misplay from there. There's a lot of psychology to be explored with the use. I know they can just squelch you, but some players are quite stubborn,
is there like
and they'll just take it.
To dress up in order to intimidate your opponent, maybe? Because I remember Kriparian was relating this thing that at BlizzCon 2013 for the show match that happened just when Hearthstone was in beta, I think. We all got invited to BlizzCon, and Hafu was there, and Krip apparently had the deck list of Hafu from someone else. And he showed up to her, and he showed her the deck list, and he said, "Are these your decks?" And he just literally
wow, that is
intimated. That is a really outside the game move to make. Maybe lack of sportsmanship, or maybe min-maxing your win rate.
But you're telling your opponent there, I know everything you have. Yeah. You know nothing about me. How much of an advantage do I have? But that's like a mind game. You're playing with your opponent's head. And in games like poker, especially, mind games are very important. And maybe you might see that in Hearthstone one day.
I will rue the day where this happens. Oh, Kolento, I was going to say, you know, the juggler here, you're worried about just losing your minion to a coin, you know, on the mana worm being played. However, this Haunted Keeper looks a lot more appealing. You can curve into a juggler, maybe find a secret to go with it.
Testing the secret. Nothing, no noble sacrifice. Nothing of immediate threat for him. Something you can deal with a little bit later.
Yeah, but this Avenge, though, if it goes on a 1-1, it is, for Kolento, kind of annoying, because the Frostbolt from Orange will be taking care of it. But for the most part, I think Kolento's curving nicely. And the Divine Favor that we saw in his deck earlier could really come in handy.
I mean, if he gives Orange a Secret Keeper here, I mean, Secret Keeper does have some interaction with Orange, with the secrets, but the Mirror Entity doesn't actually come out because the Scientist does stick around.
Yeah, the amount of juggles that went out here and not killing anything is a little unfortunate for Kolento. He will get the Avenge on another minion, but Orange can answer those very easily right now.
Very nice Frostbolt to throw at whatever target it hits, but it hits that one.
That is the best target possible, I think, because now Orange cannot simply kill it unless he goes for a coin Fireball. I mean, I guess there's a good argument for...
Maybe Frostbolt, leave it alone.
Yeah, just like finish it off next turn with like a Flamewaker coin ping on 4, and then Q into an Azure Drake. I don't dislike that play.
Oh, that's fine too. I mean, you can Frostbolt it. If he gets another secret, it gets buffed, which is a bit unfortunate, but I don't know. It depends what risk he wants to take here.
One thing to keep in mind too is that the Mirror Entity is giving Orange a safeguard against anything crazy that could happen. Oh, that is a good card for Orange.
Yep, 1 mana cost, gives a Divine Shield as well, so we may be able to protect that Flamewaker, and of course he gets the shots as well from the effect.
Kolento now he's got to make a decision. You know, he knows this is Mirror Entity more likely than not. The big drawback of playing the Shredder is that he's feeding his opponent a lot of value. In this case, though, you know, he can use the Secret Keeper, kill the Spellslinger, the 1/1 for the Mana Worm, go for a Coghammer play maybe, use the Blessing of Wisdom if he wants to get himself an extra card and force Orange in a position where he has to deal with a Secret Keeper. I think Kolento has plays other than just a minion.
I like the Coghammer here. I think it's pretty good. I mean, another thing with the Coghammer as well, you can use the Coghammer on the 1/1, but you want to get the Divine Shield on the Secret Keeper, so you might have to just trade away. And you can give it Blessing of Wisdom, so you can start...
You can use your Coghammer to kill the Mana Worm.
Blessing of Wisdom.
Oh my god, that's a trolly move to make. Trollento at work again.
Drawing those cards.
Spider. He's forcing Orange to deal with a 1/1. Oh my god. This must feel bad.
Although his board is slightly vulnerable now to a Flamewaker turn. And we do have Orange being able to play Flamewaker, Coin, Frostbolt, Flamewaker...
Hero Power even.
Hero Power. Oh, you can just Hero Power it. There's a lot of things you can do, so... Yeah.
The Hero Power looks very appealing because you're getting 2 hits from the Flamewaker on the coin, and then you can just finish off whatever didn't die. Of course, bad RNG can happen, and we'll see if Orange is able to get himself the good pings or not. Oh wow, perfect pings!
And that's the reason Kolento lost the board. RNG.
Yep. Oh, we'll remember that one for a while. And now Kolento's got the Argent Squire, can feed that to his opponent's Mirror Entity without too much worry, I think. Then the Shredder comes out, and he can resume fighting for the board, wait for the Challenger, wait for the Doctor Boom later on, and just get back in the game. You know, Divine Favor as well.
You know, giving him the Argent Squire is obviously better than the Shredder, but the Argent Squire will be able to do some work as well. Be able to take out some tokens as well if it sticks around. I mean, you don't really want to give Orange anything, do you? But if you have to give him something, just right there. But Kolento's actually having a think now. What could he do instead?
I mean, he might be considering...
Noble Sack, maybe?
Like just a Blessing of Kings on your own 5/5 with Divine Shield, but that is very weak, considering there's a ping that could come out from the Flamewaker. He finishes off your minions with spells. I think Kolento is mostly looking at the follow-up value of attacking, I was going to say, the Flamewaker. How often is that worth it?
Arcane Blast. A lot of spells in the hand here. He can even put Hand of Protection on his Flamewaker, protecting it from another hit from that Coghammer.
Yeah, I mean, Arcane Blast, Mirror Entity, Hand of Protection, that's 3 spells he can play, that's 6 hits going out with 2 damage on a minion. The Shredder obviously is going to tank that, and Orange gets...
Bad RNG.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, he had his good RNG for the day.
Yeah. I think Kolento needs good RNG. I mean, it's not so much that everybody needs to stop having good one as much as Kolento needs to have his. All right. Still fine for Orange so far.
Frostbolt. Oh, Mirror Entity. Mirror Entity's fine.
You know what? That's interesting. I think Frostbolt was definitely a justifiable play, but now Kolento gets to do what he wants. You know, he does have a kill in the Flamewaker after all.
I think actually Frostbolt was better there because it protected his Flamewaker, gave it the Divine Shield, and then the weapon can't swing at it. But the problem Kolento kind of has here is a clunky hand, really. He gets a Blessing of Kings, which is nice, which is a 5/5, but he's a mage. Fireball could be in his hand, Frostbolt, there's a lot of ways to deal with it. And once that 5/5's taken out, he's just top-decking minions.
Yeah, but I like it because, you know, if he goes Blessing of Kings, for instance, on the 1/1, and he kills... You know, even just the 1/1 from Orange, I assume he'd go face more often than not. But if he wants to play around Fireball, you kill the 1/1. And then you've got Noble Sacrifice, Avenge already set up, and that's going to protect you a little bit. So there's a chance that we see Kolento go for just a trade with everything. He could ignore the 1/1 though.
Yeah, you can ignore it. I don't see any problem with that. There's not going to be really a buff to the 1/1 from the mage.
What about Noble Sacrifice, Avenge, Hero Power, right?
and set up a bit of a board.
Yeah, and then force the opponent to trigger Noble Sack and Avenge, and eventually buff something. Whatever stays, you then Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, that's definitely an idea, but Blessing of Kings is going to come down for Kolento here. Where's he going to go with it? Face, I imagine.
Yeah, I like that.
Face is the place. 1-1's not much of a threat from a mage, simply because they don't have any buffs like Vita Sergeant, Dark Underwolf. It's not something we need to worry about. Flame Cannon! Off the top here, he can ping Flame Cannon trade. No secrets came down from Kolento, so nothing to worry about there.
I think the reasoning behind Kolento keeping the secrets is, well, we were talking with Stan Sivka. There was a game where Dog held secrets when he had the Challenger, which just makes sense. It's intuitively the better play, whereby you wait until you've played the Challenger before you play secrets, especially when you're top decking. You don't know when the Challenger's coming, and as a result of that, wasting that Challenger, wasting those secrets and not thinning your deck when you play the 6-drop is a little bit of a problem.
Actually, I like the Fireball here more because he just wants to keep something on the board to maybe challenge a Noble Sacrifice. If he had traded in with a Flame Cannon and Noble Sacrifice came down, he'd have to spend time dealing with Summon and Sickness from his minions before he can attack. So this way, if Noble Sac does come down, he can use the 1-1 to clear it, and then his Drake will be safe.
Well, Kolento will just play all the secrets. This is a trinity of secrets. Mages have Mana Worm, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Flamewaker as their trinity. Paladins have these.
But Orange has some great responses.
He's got removal more than he even needs at this point.
And he has some card draw as well with the Azure Drake, so he's not running dry yet, whereas Kolento's just top decking after all these secrets resolve.
So Kolento will lose the 2-1 to the Ping, will lose the 4-3 to a Frostbolt, and obviously Orange can take his time. Kolento needs to find a big minion, and if he plays one, then Orange gets a copy of it.
Plays the Drake.
I'm okay with that. It's okay. You can just Frostbolt the 4-3, leave him with a 2-1. It's not going to do very much.
Yeah, he needs a bit more to push through. No abusives. He'd need a Blessing of Kings, maybe a True Silver to deal with another Noble Sacrifice.
Wow, this is exactly textbook why some people think Secret Paladin was overrated at first. It still works out more than average, but sometimes you just get those awful draws.
Has to trade here to make sure this Azure Drake goes down. Can't leave it standing. But Orange is another draw. 2 minions hand, Flame Cannon. He has everything he needs to win this game. Oh, wow, that's definitely something to win the game.
Well, I mean, do you think this is Repentance, right? If it is, I guess you just play Mana Worm first, check for Repentance, then go for Dr. Boom, and wait.
Yeah, you don't even have to use your Azure Drake here. You can just sit here and let a Boombot tank that Noble Sacrifice.
Dr. balanced, straight in the middle, and down goes the Challenger, doing basically nothing. Kolento just concedes. He's like, you know what? There's no point to going through the motions. I know I don't have any secrets left. I don't have any combination of anything that's going to make the Challenger effective, so I'm going to scoop it. And Orange is up 2-1 against Kolento.
Orange is so close to qualifying here. Kolento's so close to getting knocked out. This next game is going to be pretty intense for both players.
I have to assume the Secret Paladin from Kolento looks like it should win a game at least. I mean, it's a deck that is able to usually when you face off against a lineup with the Secret Paladin, you expect to lose a game to it. And I assume Orange, even though he's been doing amazing, might run, even with a good deck lineup, he still expects to lose one game to it.
He has Druid left, right? So Druid is going to be, you know, going to struggle a little bit against the Tempo Mage and the Secret Paladin. But the one thing Druid can do well, if he draws Wild Growth, Aspire, if he draws everything he needs, which Druid can do, he can just snowball out control and win. So Orange is probably hoping now, please, Druid, give me the cards I need to win this game.
When Druid plays fair, they have bad matchups. When they have their unfair cards early on, then they just end up snowballing. But Kolento's hand is absolutely awful. It is not what you're looking for.
Double Drake, that's definitely not it. But he does at least have an Apprentice to play, and the Aspirant is there as well, so he'll be able to challenge any of the 2-drops that come down for Kolento.
Yeah, that looks like a really solid start from Orange. Can't say that much about Kolento's start, because, you know, if he goes for the Apprentice... Oh, alright, he's got a second one, but the Innervate, Keeper of the Grove, gives Orange a perfect answer. And then he can follow it up with an Aspirant on 3 and follow it up with a Drake right afterwards.
And this Keeper of the Grove, 2-4. He can trade into quite a few things as well. He can take Apprentices himself with that his effect. But not only that, he can take out Mad Scientists. You know, he can challenge quite a few minions.
Alright, so Kolento here probably going to go for the Flame Waker. Basically, the only way this dies is if Orange goes for something like a Wrath play, has a second keeper. Oh my god!
Wow.
Orange with the cards.
Off the top, second keeper going to be able to deal with this Flame Waker, put Kolento behind. 2 nice minions on board to contest Kolento.
This just feels bad. I'm looking at this and it just feels bad. Now Kolento still has the Sorcerer Apprentice with the Arcane Intellect he can go for, curve into a Drake. If those are able to stay from his perspective, of course, it looks like he might be able to do something, and Orange only has, for now, a Darnassus Aspirant as a follow-up.
But he does have a lot more cooking for later. Dr. Boom and Ancient of Law. He can recharge his hand and develop a really strong board. Kolento has got a lot of work to get back into this game. He actually goes for the Mana Worm, which is nice. Because he relies on him using Hero Power or maybe a Wrath. So he's saying you need to use something else. Or you have to trade in 2 minions.
So one thing to note here is that Orange, even if he plays the Aspirant here, what that does is it gives Kolento the ability to play Mirror Entity without being worried about getting that Aspirant, because getting the Aspirant off of the Mirror Entity means you just get the drawback from losing a Mana Crystal, but never the upside. And Kolento now has the ability to go for the Apprentice, the Mirror Entity, and the Arcane Blast all together. So I think he's going to maybe be able to stabilize.
Unless he gets really greedy and just throws the Drake down.
So this is very vulnerable to a Wrath Hero Power, in which case you have no better follow-up. So I think playing for the board would force you. Oh my god, this is definitely on the greedy side.
Oh wow, Innovate Dr. Boom could come down this turn.
It will come down. Why not?
For sure.
Why not?
And these keepers have done so much work this game. They've had so much value, and they get to 2 for 1 each very easily. I think even 1 keeper 3 for 1. He traded.
All right, the Sorcerer Apprentice. If a Mirror Entity had been played, he'd be in a much better spot, but he wanted to cycle through the deck to find better follow-ups. I'm not too sure what he was digging for. I'm guessing he's looking for a Flame Waker to get a really good, a justifiable Arcane Blast, or using the Drake with the Arcane Blast to deal 4 damage to something, as opposed to only getting 2.
It did feel very greedy. I think he should have fought for board. I mean, there was 3 minions on the board. You're a tempo deck, right? You want to be able to get the board back as quickly as possible. Drake wasn't the best way to go for it.
Yeah, the thing is that the Apprentice was a sacrificial card. Really, your tempo would have been the Mirror Entity gain. Like, that's about the only tempo you got. But it was basically, you pay 2 mana to get the copy of the opponent's Azure Drake or next minion.
But the best way to manipulate Orange into not playing his optimal plays is Mirror Entity. You force him to play something which he eventually just has to take out.
And the Seer Reaver is it's a Boulder Fist Ogre. I could see some merit maybe to trying it out. I'm just not sure it's worth it overall. It's a 3 mana 6/7 though. That's definitely a card that you want to talk tempo. That's it.
Yep, that's gonna definitely help him out. Nice stable body. Ancient of Law can come down now, draw more cards. He already has a Savage already, so if he finds a Force of Nature, he'll have the lethal in hand from 14 health onwards. And if he has any board, so again, just put more pressure on here.
Orange has to decide whether he wants to lose the Aspirant or not. I mean, technically, you could just sacrifice the Boombot and maybe get something like Druid of the Claw with Savage Roar on turn 8. Alright, that's fine.
That worked out really nicely. So he has at least 1 more Boombot to influence the board with some trading. He might hit another 4. He might be able to trade in something a lot easier than he did before. And that's the real power behind Dr. Boom. These little Boombots just wrecking havoc.
Alright, so if you pop the Boombot, you can go Sea Reaver, Mad Scientist, right? Flame Cannon is a very risky play, but it works out here for him. Wow, he's going to be able to get back on this board.
Sea Reaver.
That is what he needed. This card is just good when you draw it. From Unstable Portal is essentially the same as a Boulder Fist Ogre.
Yep, Boulder Fist Ogre's got great stats as well. But Orange just has a lot of stuff going on here. Swipe.
Yeah, charge with everything. I mean, this is a charge, or like you can just go face and set up a Druid of the Claw, Savage Roar. You've got a Shade. How is Kolento supposed to stop all of this at once?
Flame Strike, anyone? Nope. I don't think there is even one in this deck. I haven't seen a Flame Strike just yet.
It's a card that you see sometimes. That's the funny thing about Flame Strike. It's a card you want to play, but yeah, there's very little room for it. It feels very clunky sometimes. I mean, you're not supposed to have lost the board, right? Exactly. That's kind of why the deck doesn't want it. It just says, I think my deck is bad. I will need this as a last effort to maybe recover.
Just in case my deck doesn't go well.
Yeah.
No, I understand the logic behind it. I'm supposed to have the board at all times. If I'm running Flame Strike, I'm saying I'm going to lose the board.
So Kolento here must be happy because what he just did is deny what he thinks is probably a combo play from Orange. Killing the Aspirant means that the combo can't fall down right now. He knows that it's just a matter of time. Next turn it will happen or could happen, but he must be a little happy about this. Now, Orange is sitting on a total of 11. Yeah, I think he's one off lethal if I'm not mistaken.
And it won't matter with a swipe in hand. You can just go for it here, and Kolento probably won't have enough damage.
Oh, actually, I miscalculated. He is at exact lethal with the 2 damage. I calculated 1 damage less from the 6-4. So Orange is going to take it and guarantee himself a spot
in tomorrow.
Right.
And Kolento, unfortunately for him, has fallen short this event, and he will more than likely, unless some weird tiebreakers come up, not be able to play in tomorrow's game.
Yeah, it is not going to be possible for him to come back. I think Cypher's in a similar spot. He's Kolento 1-3 right now.
Yep.
So, I mean, he could technically win the next match and win in a tiebreaker up against Cypher. Let's say if he's head-to-head. But I don't know how many players we have at that score.
We'll be able to see kind of the leaderboard very soon, just after this interview with Orange.
Thank you very much. So, Orange, congratulations again. We can talk to you again. So, you said earlier that Kolento is one of the most uncomfortable players for you in the world. So how does it feel to win the match like this?
It definitely feels great. Kolento is one of the players I respect the most. Like, definitely considering one of the absolute best players. So winning against him obviously feels great.
And also you said that you like tuning decks and you borrow some ideas from other players. Have you ever did that with Kolento?
Yeah, I watch Kolento stream quite a lot, and when I see him play something interesting, I usually try it out myself. So he definitely helped me along the way.
Okay, and last question: why did you lose the Hunter versus Mage matchup?
You have to excuse me. I actually don't remember how that exact match went.
Okay, then congratulations again, and thank you. And now we go back to our guests.
Right, so well played by Orange here, guaranteeing himself a spot in tomorrow's top. It's going to be the top 4 double elimination bracket. We will have all the results at the end of the day, telling us who's going to be where. This is basically the crucible. People have to go through this in order to qualify.
Yeah, and Orange has secured it. Kolento fell short, unfortunately. And Orange must be super happy as well, because he had like a last-minute invite as well. He hadn't prepared, kind of whipped together some decks which he was comfortable with, and he managed to get to tomorrow where he could potentially win the whole thing. And Orange has expressed in his interviews how he wants to get back into top form. He wants to be playing well. He wants to be up there with the big boys again. And this is definitely the start of his journey.
So he's currently tied with Tice as far as the score goes. Of course, they may end up with 3-2 if they win their next match respectively. They could both end up with a 4-1. I mean, we'll have Tice versus Dog up next, and Orange will be playing his last match against Stan Sivka a bit later. We have 3 more matches to go before the brackets are finalized, and we can tell you who exactly is going up. But we know for a fact that Tice and Orange are going there.
Yeah, it's just a battle between Dog, Stan Sivka, Kolento and Cypher at the moment. Dog and Stantivka obviously have the advantage with more wins under the belt at the moment, but it's still
there's a head-to-head I think that could happen between either of those players, whereby because between Stantivka and Dog, one will eventually have to lose, which means the scores will make one of them 2-3, and then the head-to-head for the tie will matter a lot.
Yeah, that would be exciting as well to see who goes through. So yeah, more matches coming your way, 3 more games for the day, and then we'll have the 4 players who will be going through to the LAN finals tomorrow in the double elimination bracket. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly with more Hearthstone.